Hello and welcome to a very busy edition of Pittsburgh Sports Memories Current Events. I'm your co-host Steve Wirt, and I'm joined by.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Hannon.
So this is the time we take set aside for current events. Um, the Pirates. Let's see, they are 16-13. They are 5-5 in their last 10. Hey, they almost beat the Cardinals with their backups. Their starting pitcher, I think, was out due to like a personal reason. And so that was pretty impressive, but they did give up, like their closer did give up a blow a save, which happens. It really kind of sucks because the Pirates really probably should have scored like another run or two. But I mean, all in all, you can't complain with their start. Paul Skeens, man, he took a perfect game into the seventh inning against the Brewers. That was, I mean, a perfect game, Tim, not a no hitter, a
Yeah.
perfect game. No walks, no hits, no errors. It was pretty awesome. And the scariest part, Tim, here's the scariest part. You want to know this? The
Yeah.
team still has room for improvement. They
Yeah.
can get better. And I'm not just like saying, oh, if this like Ozuna's hitting like 162 right
Yeah.
now. Like
Yeah.
if he just hits like 250, 275, like they're already scoring a lot of runs. Like because O'Neill Cruz is like tearing the cover off the ball. Now he's gotten okay in center field, and that's kind of their biggest like that's one of their biggest problems is they don't really have a depth in hitting outside of Cruz and who's it Lau
Hmm.
and Hearn isn't bad either,
Yeah.
but like they really don't have like a depth, and if Ozuna can start hitting, boy that'll really take them over the top there. And with their pitching, man, I mean, it's still early. It's April. They've had great Aprils before and had finished like in the basement. But so I guess we kind of like we'll have to check back at the end of May and see where they are.
So, so a couple of things. Like you said, Ozuna could be doing better. Griffin's still, I think, finding his way. He's kind of, he's
He's not
been,
gonna. He's not gonna have. I mean, I can't see him having like being a major contributor. I think he'll be okay, but I think and eventually he'll be really good. But
sure.
just I think this season, if you're expecting him to hit like 300 and have 100 RBIs, then you're probably asking a lot from him.
Right. But he could still improve over the course of the season.
Yeah. Anything he contributes is a bonus at this point.
When's Jared Jones coming back? Because that's another thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's coming soon. So there's another pitcher
Right.
they're gonna have.
Right. So you're right. There is room for improvement. There's certainly room to fall off too. One thing that I thought of, Steve, I just got done reading a book about that was largely about the 70s Pirates. And there was a lot of those seasons where they won a division, including the 79 season, where they were like in third place in June, you know?
Right, right.
So like you said, it is a long season.
And they've been at the hot starts before and kind of fallen off. Like it really they call it the June swoon. Like you really see separate the men from the boys in
Hmm.
June. That's really when the teams start to even the Tigers, I think last year, like June and July, they were kind of floundering and then they had a hot August and got
Yeah.
in the playoffs. So
Yep.
we'll see. Like I said, we'll see if they're like still doing this good. The division is pretty tough. Like there's a lot of really good teams in this division right now. So see what happens. The Steelers, Tim, they had a draft. The draft happened, and it was held in Pittsburgh, and everybody seemed to like it except for the people that were had businesses in the Strip District, because I guess nobody left like the North Side or downtown. And but I think overall it seems like it was a success, Tim, as far as like local businesses go, right?
Yeah, I went down the first night, and I was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a really great atmosphere. People were excited to be there. Saw a ton of people from out of town, and I realized I didn't realize till I was down there that Pittsburgh's such a great city to host this because there's like 6 or 7 NFL cities within driving distance. So I
Mm.
saw people in Buffalo jerseys, Philly, Baltimore, Washington, Cleveland, Cincy, Detroit. You saw all those jerseys walking around because those people can all drive here. So
Rather than like having it in Seattle or like
yeah, or
someplace
like
like
Denver or
or
something. Like if
yeah,
you had it in Denver, you're gonna everybody that's a visiting fan is probably having to purchase a plane ticket.
yeah.
So I think that really helped. I know they set the attendance record which again, not surprised. Pittsburgh's such a sports town. But I thought, kudos to all the planners, all the people. The city doesn't always do a good job with everything. They did a very nice job with this.
So on to the draft, Tim. Do you want to discuss whatever this Lemon guy is? I guess we'll start with there.
Yeah. So what happened? I'm sure everybody's heard by now, right? The Steelers are on the phone with this receiver, Makai Lemon from USC, I think,
Yeah.
and they basically, because Dallas drafted in front of them, Dallas and Dallas and Carolina don't need receivers. It's Dallas especially because they have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. So you knew Dallas isn't drafting a receiver, so you're already assuming, okay, he's going to be our pick. And as we're on the phone with them, Dallas makes a trade to Philadelphia, and Philadelphia jumps up and grabs this guy away. And it the optics aren't good. It looks we looked dumb because everybody knew we were actually on the phone with them, and then they stole our pick away. Me personally, Steve, I wasn't too disappointed because um, we ended up drafting the tackle instead, Max Honichor, and I think offensive tackle is way harder to find than wide receiver. You can get a wide receiver in the second round, which they did, and this guy Lemon, I mean, there were some character question marks and things of that nature. I just would rather have had the tackle, but it looked bad.
He had a bad combine workout, I read. So, and he's had a troubled past. And then they were saying that the Steelers might get investigated for tampering, for draft tampering, because I guess you're not allowed to be. And I can kind of see their point. Like, let's say like the Steelers, and I'm trying to draft you, Tim, and I just like keep you on the phone all day. Like, I don't let you
Yeah.
hang up the phone. Like, oh, hi, Tim. Oh, do you want to talk to Mike Tomlin? Hey, you want to talk to the trainer? Hey, you want to talk to the groundskeeper? Hey, you want to talk to my mother-in-law? You know what I mean? Like, so you couldn't get, like, you don't have call waiting or something.
Yeah,
Like,
but they don't have to say yes to being drafted. I mean, I don't see how that really tampers with anything. You know what I
what do
mean?
you mean? Like,
So they don't. There's
they
not a
could hold out
requirement.
like John Elway, I guess. Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
no, I'm saying that like
They
if
don't
I
have to
was,
take the phone call, and like, there's call waiting. Like,
but
they don't,
if the Steelers kept me on the phone all day and you're the Eagles and you can't call me, doesn't mean the Eagles still can't draft me.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? So
Right.
I
And it doesn't mean the Eagles can call and be like, oh, it's the Eagles. Hold on,
yeah,
Steelers. Like,
exactly.
I
I,
mean, what is this, 1910? We don't have call waiting? Like, oh, KL5. Yeah.
they're not gonna. I get the point of like maybe it's more about like you could, I don't know, say something about like, hey, you don't want to
Don't
go to
answer
that
for
team,
anybody else. Yeah. But you could do that anyway. I don't.
right?
It seems like a very stupid rule that
Punishment enough was us looking stupid in front of everybody in the draft we were hosting, and that's I think as far as it'll go. By the way, fun fact that nobody ever brought up: what do you remember when the Steelers drafted Ryan Shazier?
I don't know. Sure.
Do you know who he was on the phone with when we drafted him? He was on the phone with the Cowboys, who picked after us.
Oh, whoa. Better find Jerry Jones.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
happened before. It's
Yeah.
not, like I said, it looked dumb. I'm happy with who we got. I think it's a blessing in disguise. I didn't want Lemon. I would have rather
Yeah.
had the tackle and had the receiver in the
Did
second
you
round.
did you think those grapes were sour anyway? Huh?
Well, no, no, it's not. It's not him. It's just that a receiver in the first round to me is
It
not.
never works out. It never, yeah. Unless it's like Larry Fitzgerald or Calvin Johnson. Like, there's been more busts, or maybe Jordan Addison, but like, there's been more busts than there have been players that have
Yes,
worked
and
out.
tackles are harder to find. Receivers are easier to
Not that
find. So
this tackle guy couldn't be a bust, but anybody else, like, hey, we got a guy from Navy. I don't know. Does he have to serve time in the Navy?
he went to Mount Lebanon too.
Yeah. Does he have to like go like to
I
Iran?
don't think so.
And
And
does he have to like go like blockade something in the off season this summer? Like, does he have to like, no oil can pass here. Oh, hold on, it's September. I got to go to minicamp, guys. Yeah.
well, the big pick. Well, hang on. Before we get to the other picks, I want to mention one more thing about the first round pick that I think kind of got lost in this is how stupid the Dallas Cowboys are.
Hey, he ignored it. He said Al Davis told him never to do the division thing, but he ignored the Al Davis.
But
So
but
I go figure.
but
I don't
Steve,
know.
here, okay.
Because it could burn because you play them twice a year, so it could really come back to burn you.
The Philadelphia last year, they're glaring. So they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They took a step backwards last year. Their biggest weakness was their passing game. You're chasing them in the division. You handed them their biggest need, which was a wide receiver. Why? How dumb? I don't think Jerry Jones is. I, I don't think. I don't think he's
So
known what he's been
so are
doing
you
for
saying
a
he
while.
should Boomer?
I just think that was a dumb mistake. Like, why would you hand your division rival their biggest need? And did you see, like, when they drafted Caleb Downs, the safety? That's who they drafted with their first pick. And he was on stage, and they were like, "Oh, what was it like being on the phone with Jerry Jones?" And he was like, "Oh, he couldn't really hear me. I couldn't really hear him." And I'm like, "Yeah, I bet that phone call was, they put Caleb Downs on the phone, and Jerry Jones like, huh, who's this? How'd you get this number?
Are you
Oh,
Dion?
no, sir, I'm your number one pick. Are you the pole boy? You were late last week. No, no, sir, I'm the number one draft pick. So I don't think he knows what he's doing. I just thought that got lost at how stupid that was. How dumb to hand your division rival their biggest need.
Well, how about Drew Allar? I mean, he looks like he can throw the ball. It looks like he just needs coached up. And Mike McCarthy seems like he can coach a quarterback, so that might work out. It's something. Throw enough against the wall, right? Something's got to stick.
Yes. Yeah. So the two things you just said are spot on. Like, number one, really amazing talent, like huge arm, can make all the throws, all that stuff. Terrible footwork, needs a lot of coaching, but we have an offensive set of coaches now that could coach him up. That doesn't always work. Remember, like Kyle Bowler. I always think of Kyle Bowler throwing the ball 75 yards on his knees, and everybody was enamored.
It's too bad you would be down in that situation.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
I guess maybe not if nobody touched you. Right?
But that was the thing with him. It's like, oh my God, that guy's just so much athleticism, and you can't teach athleticism. So we'll find out. But then the second thing you said is spot on too, Steve. That, hey, go for it. Just start getting young guys in there. And you know what? If you spend some time with Will Howard and Drew Allar this summer, and maybe even making one of those guys the second string quarterback next season, then maybe by the 2027 draft, you'll know, do I need to get a guy in the first round, or should we stick with who we got
Mm-hmm.
and give that a run? And that's fine. That's what we needed to do 5 years ago. That's what we needed to do when Ben had 2 years left, and we
Well,
didn't.
that would have pissed Ben off. And we didn't want
Okay,
to do that.
but like I said repeatedly, that's what Kansas City and Baltimore and all these other, the Rams. The Rams used the number 13 overall pick in the draft, Steve, on Ty Simpson. Do you think Matt Stafford's happy about that? Like, I've got one more year left, and you used it on, a quarterback. Well, tough. We have to plan for life after you, Matt.
Right, right. Especially if you only have 1 year left. So
Yeah, and he probably has 1 or 2 years left, and that's what you have to do, even if it upsets your guy.
maybe he'll be the Steelers' next quarterback.
Yeah, sure. But again, it was the right thing to do. So and you know what, Steve, the Penn State fans really hate Drew Allar, so I'm already feeling good about it.
Well, at least they can crap on their own for a change. um, how about the guy with all the guy that looks like a Viking who's like ready
Oh
to
yeah,
raid like England or something and
yeah.
carry off like women and burn down villages?
Jennings Dunker.
Yeah,
We have to draft at least two guys from Iowa.
I can't. Well, they that way they don't have to switch uniforms. They could just keep
Right.
the same color scheme.
Right.
But it's like. And then I heard like articles. The only thing I read about this guy is, the Steelers are going to make him cut his hair. It's like, why? Like, I've never heard of anybody having to cut their hair to play. Like, this isn't the Yankees where doesn't the
Yeah.
Yankees have a rule to be clean shaven?
They did at one point. I have
Yeah.
no idea if that's still the case. But
Well,
yeah,
I don't see Aaron Judge with no facial hair.
I what I loved most about this draft was all the players we got are guys who aren't going to necessarily, that Dunker might win a spot, but I think the rest of them are guys that are going to take some time to develop, and that's fine. Like, I think we're finally admitting that, okay, we need to start developing a nucleus, and if Rodgers comes back, fine, but you're not going to build a team around, like, Rodgers is coming back. We got to make one more run.
Yeah.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah. Here's many years of Jennings Dunker. Well, Tim, the Penguins have lost. The season is over. They did look dead in the water, down 3-0, but they battled back to force a game 6. Unfortunately, like these things go sometimes, they've lost game 6. How do you think they were able to force a game 6? Do you think it was the goaltending?
I mean, you know what? Like,
I don't think it really was the goal. I think they finally got to their game, and they were able to make plays from like behind the net, because like early on it was just like the old Penguins, like they always did, like let's skate around the perimeter and not really take shots from like, the third aisle. And then this game, these last games, it seems like they've been behind the net, shooting the puck, like passing the puck to guys in the prime scoring positions, which is what Philadelphia has been doing the whole series. And the last couple games, it seems like they haven't been as dominated as they were early in the series.
Yeah. I don't think, if you look at the first 3 games, I don't think you can blame that all on Stuart Skinner. He had a couple of bad let ups, but you're right. I think it was more coincidental when they brought She Loves in. That was a little bit of a spark, but that wasn't like he's stealing the games for them,
right?
That they were winning. But like you said, it's hard to, when you dig yourself that big of a hole. I mean, kudos to them for not just folding up their tent and going home. At least they showed some spark. Mm-hmm. So that was nice. And like honestly, at the beginning of the season,
we didn't even expect them to make the playoffs. So
right, it just sucks. It just sucks because
is Gino coming back? Do you think?
Oh boy, I don't.
He's looked good. He's looked good, except he's taken a couple dumb Gino penalties, but.
Yeah, I bet they work out something where he has one more year.
And the Flyers are the Flyers. They're going to engage in Flyer type behavior. So, and what did you think about Sid getting called for embellishment during the series? I mean, what was the guy from Philadelphia doing? He was just like flipping his stick around, and then like he hits him in the face. What was that all about? Yeah. Like, should they have just not called anything? Should they have just been like, oh, whoops, our bad?
I mean, NHL is going to NHL.
There was no gameplay. It was like during a break in the gameplay.
That was the same game, I think, where Russ got elbowed in the face, and then Russ got the penalty. Yeah. So like Steve, you and I always talk about, like college football and how stupid it is that they didn't have a playoff for years, and how stupid it is that Pitt plays Stanford and Cal and Duke. And man, why don't they just fix that? The hockey is the same, hockey playoffs especially, but hockey is the same way where, if Patrick Mahomes got elbowed in the face, there'd be a 15-yard penalty followed by like another 15-yard like makeup call just to like give him more yards, and the guy would be fined half his salary. The NFL would never allow that kind of stuff to happen, but hockey's like, hockey, it's the umpire from Field of Dreams. Do you remember the umpire from Field of Dreams? Where like
the warning, yeah, watch out, you don't get killed, kid.
Yes, that's NHL playoffs.
Well, do they come back stronger next year, Tim? Or
I think so. I think so.
Well, we'll see. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we'll check in more during the summer with more, I guess, free agent moves, and hopefully the Pirates are still in this at the end of August, or the summer's going to get really boring for us. So
don't forget, Steve, we have an Aaron Rodgers update. We got to cover that at some point, because we're all on pins and needles waiting for that one.
I think he's coming back.
I don't know. I just can't wait to see. I'm so excited.
Thanks for tuning in. Check us out on Facebook. Leave any comments, questions, whatever about us there, and rate our podcast when we get a chance. Catch you next time.